I do have very sensible thumbs. I've been told that before.
Okay.
I think you told me that once when we did
Okay. Well, no, just
we did a game of thumb wars,
okay.
and you said I just won out of softness.
Yeah, you just slipped right through.
So
day.
this is late.
This is
this is one of the latest pods we've done since the early 90s, I think.
Yeah. This is me starting at 10 p.m. So who knows what we're going to get to at midnight.
Yes, my apologies for that. We were going to record earlier, but I got stuck at work.
That's all good. Are you good? Is it all right? You're on top of it?
Yeah. It's just a busy week, but I've raced home, forgot my laptop was at work, and then scoffed a beef and broccoli stir fry, as well as a protein shake, and now I'm drinking wine, all within 10 minutes. So
yeah, gosh,
it should make for a great night's sleep. I'm guessing.
You've got a few more hours, though. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
I've had a beer. I'm now on whiskey ginger, so we'll just see where we go. I've also just had ice cream.
What flavour?
I had a bit of mint and a bit of vanilla, and I had some chocolate topping on it.
What are you doing with all these weird flavors? Like, what are you doing with mint? Getting to know vanilla. I mean, those two don't want anything to do with each other.
Vanilla wants to go with any flavor. Excuse me, but
vanilla does not want to go with mint.
Vanilla absolutely wants to go with mint, particularly if you add a third bedfellow, which is some chocolate sauce.
I mean, chocolate sauce will go with pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe a pistachio.
I reckon you could still have it with pistachio.
Now that I say it, yeah.
I wouldn't go with a sorbet. I wouldn't want like a lime sorbet in chocolate sauce.
Good call. Or like a yogurt. What is sorbet?
It's ice cream without dairy. So
Okay.
it's more water based, is my understanding.
Then what's gelato?
You know what? I'm sick of this. You're faffing around here. We're talking about nonsense like there isn't an elephant in the room. And frankly, I just want to get straight to the point here.
Oh God.
We've had a recent segment called Michael's Facts. Do you remember Michael's Facts? Do you remember a jingle?
Well.
Do you remember playing a jingle?
Yep.
Do you remember
Crowd favorite.
Do you remember strutting into the podcast, claiming you had a brand new idea?
Yeah.
Michael's Facts. Michael's Facts with a jingle.
One of the best.
Let me play you a little song. It goes like this. Fun facts, we got a fun facts, you know the fun facts.
Yeah, I knew that one.
That one jog any memories? That one bring
I knew
anything
it.
back, Michael?
Was that a commercial back in the day?
No, you know very well.
I remember the jingle.
You know very well what you've done.
Is it Mitre 10?
You know very well what you've done. Nick introduced a segment, and here comes Michael to ride on his coattails yet again. It's the age-old story. And then you think, okay, this is getting a little bit hot. This is getting a little bit, uncomfortable. I'm just going to park this for a year and hope he forgets about it. Well, bad luck, Buster. I went back, I listened, I found the tapes. You tried to pull a coup on me again. You tried to pull a fucking coup, and I'm not going to let it happen.
Did you just call me Buster?
I did call you Buster. I was in the moat. Do you like it, or did? I thought I made it work.
I don't think it served your passion. They were trying your tone. Okay. But essentially what's happened here is a classic Winklevoss to Zuckerberg scenario, and honestly, go fuck yourself, because I've got Facebook.
Well, no one wants to be Zuckerberg, so you've really stuffed yourself there with that analogy.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
So thank you very much. I guess
No.
I'll be Army Hammer. Oh. Okay. Ooh.
No one's won an argument by going, yeah, well, I'm the Mark Zuckerberg in this situation, so.
Look, all I'm saying is I need a 15% cut of any revenue, and we'll call it a day.
How about this? If we do this segment again, which we definitely will because everyone loves it,
Big hit.
we'll keep the jingle, but I'll add a disclaimer saying inspired by, loosely inspired by,
based on a true story.
A melody that Nick hummed one day.
I actually did that as a segment. It was a segment. We did do a segment, and then you came back. And
Name
then
one fun fact that you did.
It was like 18 months ago. You know that I don't have any fun facts.
Well, I guess I can't talk. I tell you what, people are going to be remembering that fact, whatever it was.
I'm sure,
because I can't remember it from the last episode, and it will stand the test of time.
You did promise us some. So it was popcorn facts. Was your Michael's facts? And then you did promise some carrot facts, but we don't have time for that. We're not. This is not the place for carrot facts.
Yep. Stay tuned. Watch this space.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to Deep Forward, everybody. Oh, what a pleasure to be back. It feels like it's been ages. I don't know if it feels like that to you, but I don't know. I'm surprised. This is a podcast in which we discuss the happenings in the world through enthusiasm and comedic. Oh, fuck me. Sitting through internet with me is my friend Michael.
Hello. Have you called me your friend before? That's the first time. Wow.
We finally got there.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm Nick.
You're just regular Nick. Who's nobody's friend.
Nobody's friend.
No, I'm sure there's a friend out there for you. You just haven't found them yet.
One day. I'll keep hanging out on Friendster, and they'll find me.
Oh man, what is this podcast got in store for us today?
I don't know. I've got a lot of things on my list, actually.
All right, well, just talk at me for the next 45 minutes.
Okay, I got a huge list of rec engine stuff to go through.
Yeah.
I got a myth. I've got a funny / embarrassing story.
Oh. No wonder you were so keen to make this happen tonight. You're ready to pop.
I had a lot of shit here, and I think maybe we should start. It's happy birthday time of year for both of us.
Is.
Happy birthday, friend.
Happy birthday to you,
Buster.
Guy. Buster Brown.
And you can imagine the happy birthday song. I can't really be bothered singing it anymore. But is there anything in the vicinity there that you'd like to open?
Yes, you got me a present. Mm-hmm.
33
which arrived
today
on my birthday.
Yes.
And the postman put it somewhere. In my front yard, and
so well that no one noticed it.
So I'm going to open it up.
Yeah.
Live, because this is just solid content.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Should I guess what it is?
You know what it is. Well, you know the form of what it is.
Oh, fuck. Nice ASMR.
Have you been working out? Because that just tore like paper.
Oh, it's gift wrapped. You got the gift wrapping. Happy birthday, MZ-NS.
That's me. I'm NS.
That's you. All right. Very well wrapped.
Oh, they did a nice job.
They did a very nice job. Opening the book. Oh, that's good.
It's a really
That's actually
good.
Okay, so Nick's got me a book by Michael Schur, who's the creator of The Good Place, Parks and Recreation.
Worked on The Office.
Did you have something to do with The Office?
Yep. It was Moe's.
How to Be Perfect, which is also, I'm guessing, a reference to Ricky Gervais saying that in the original Office, because he says perfect.
I don't know if that's intentional, but possible.
Okay. Well, this is amazing.
So it is. This is actually one of my rec engine items. I'm midway through reading it at the moment. Wow. Mike Schur got really into moral philosophy while doing The Good Place. The Good Place, if anyone hasn't seen, is a comedy about how do you get into heaven by doing good things. Like, what is it that we use to judge whether actions are right or wrong, that kind of thing. And as part of that show, got to know a bunch of moral philosophers and get an understanding of the history of it and the basic concepts of it. And this is him, after doing 4 years of that show, putting it to bed, basically downloading all that really complicated historical, philosophical information into a layman's book to explain Kant and Aristotle and a whole bunch of like very fundamental philosophical concepts. It is really readable and really
every
fun.
moral question.
Yeah.
I just found the T in
The T's hanging around.
The T's hanging around. So it is How to Be Perfect. This is so up my alley.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love Mike Schur. Just listened to him on a podcast the other day.
Yeah, probably promoting that book, to be honest.
Titillated. And this, I will definitely read this.
Yeah.
Don't you love it when someone gives you a book that you'll actually read?
Yeah. You know, I had bought that book for myself, and my sister gave me a copy of it for me for my birthday. And she absolutely nailed it. It is 100% a book that I would like to read. I just already had a copy. So
this is amazing. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
Now, full disclosure,
Yeah.
I knew you got me that book
How's that possible?
because you ordered it from the Deep Vault Gmail, which I have access to.
Really? I didn't order. Oh, the PayPal must have gone through.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So I got an email and it said, "What? I don't," because it's all linked up in my Gmail as one, and I thought,
Gotcha.
oh, fuck, someone's taken me for a ride here.
Yeah.
But then I quickly realized that was
That was unintentional. I had thought that I'd used my PayPal, but sometimes it does send it to weird places, so I'm not sure.
But I mean, I was actually surprised. Okay, so originally I thought you got me a book called How to Be Perfect without reading the author. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was like a joke. I'm like, this is an expensive joke.
Yeah.
If shipping something from New Zealand, or I guess it's from Australia, whatever.
Yeah.
That like, this is like a bit that you're doing, telling me that either I think that I'm perfect or that I need to.
That you're not. That you're very not.
Yeah. Which I would have respected
Either way.
as well, although it would have died off, and at least this way I get to actually read something I want to read.
No, I genuinely,
thanks,
I'm really enjoying it. It's a great book.
Now, do you have something as well over there?
Let me just check. I'll see. How big? How big? I'll just widen my hands, and you tell me when to stop.
Keep going.
Keep going. That's getting quite big now. This is sort of beyond my shoulders. This is probably a solid meter wide.
Yeah.
1 meter 10, 1 meter 20.
Yeah, I didn't get you anything, man. I'm sorry.
Okay. Didn't get me something.
For
my 33rd?
3-3. Yeah, I didn't know that that's what we were doing.
No, I really got into this book and I thought great birthday present.
All right, now I'm going to have to return the favor, aren't I?
Well,
somehow.
If you want to stay my friend, which apparently we now are, you don't have to get me something for my birthday, though. You could get me something for June 1st.
Okay. Maybe Halloween or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like, I got you a gift for Halloween. Like, that's not even a thing.
That's not even a thing. That's how friendly it is.
Yeah. It's just, fuck it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it, and I will read it.
No, enjoy. Speaking of Ricky Gervais, you want to chime in on any of this thing? Have you watched his special?
No, I haven't watched it. Keen to see it, but it's been out for like 24 hours and created a lot of hoo-ha already. But so apparently he's made some distasteful jokes about trans people. I'm assuming there's other people that he's made fun of as well. I don't want to be told what I'm supposed to think before I've actually seen the thing. Yeah. So I've just avoided all those articles today. Yeah. Look, I think he's getting annoying with this shit. He's getting annoying just trying to, I'm just pushing the envelope, and don't be offended. It's just comedy, like all this stuff. Like I agree with that to a certain extent, but he's obsessed with it. He's literally obsessed with it.
It's
and
kind
he won't
of
shut up about it.
It reminds me in a way of the way that some of the more like the early thousands militant atheists it would
Yes.
always come up. It didn't matter what topic of
Yes.
conversation it was, they'd always talk about it, and like they
Yes.
would drag it to it. And it reminds me in the way that kind of mentality of
Absolutely.
it can't steer away from it at all. The jokes are always going to come back to this, or the topic of
Yes.
conversation is always going to be about I'm offensive, but you just need to recognize irony and that kind of stuff.
Well, that's very much his personality type, isn't it, though? Because he does that with atheism too.
I read a really interesting little tweet thread thing today, talking about how easy it is for people who put on a character to then slip into it permanently. And like his original shtick as Brent was sort of saying the thing that got the raised eyebrows, but it was very much aware that this was like a viewpoint to be ridiculed and that sort of thing. And then he sort of kept at that persona long enough to the point where he didn't really you can't really separate saying offensive things now from what he actually stands by and believes. And the analogy was drawn to certain kind of like musicians who have a stage persona that then become that persona at all times.
Right.
And how forgetting the original motivation for like a character choice like that can be so easy and so slippery that you end up in a place where you've become the thing that you were ridiculing without even really realizing it.
Right. I'd be interested in reading that article. From that, it sounds a bit of a stretch, but
I'll see
yeah,
if I can find it. But yeah.
I mean, look, I think he genuinely believes what he's saying. It's just
more that the motivation of what he's doing now, the reaction that it looks like he's now seeking, is the gasp of the "you can't say that," rather than it is the laugh of a we're on the same joke kind of thing. It just feels like.
But to his audience, they are on the joke. I mean, his audience comes to him on some level to hear that. I think. You know, like people want to hear people go to those shows, I guess, because they don't want to hear the PC kind of
Do you want me to? I have found the little thread here. Would you like me to read it out? It'll probably take a couple of minutes.
I'm keen to hear it.
Okay, so
I'll just vape quietly in the background.
Sure. So this is a recording engineer. No, I'm not going to watch his special before I say it's fucked up and sucks. I've seen fucked up things that suck before, and I already know the joke. They only have one joke. Anti-woke, trans-bash comedians are cultivating an audience I very much do not want to be part of. I used to like Ricky Gervais. His comedy hinted that he disliked the part of himself that he indulged so flagrantly. The boorish, selfish, unaware part, him playing an oblivious creep, was a necessary element of comedy, critical of being oblivious. But as Kurt Vonnegut observed, we are what we pretend to be. Indulging the pretense eventually becomes so comfortable that it fuses with the person underneath. I've seen it happen up close with people I called friends, and it demands the self-reflection people of my generation have failed at. I've seen bands adopt preening rock star personae, ironically changing their names, manner of speech, false biographies, expecting indulgences, all as a kind of comedy, until they're so comfortable in the persona they forget they actually suck and no one likes them. The premise to all of this is, it's funny because it's me. I'm not really like that, so me doing it is actually a critique of it, and you reacting to it is part of me being funny because you wouldn't react to me that way otherwise. Okay, that feels confusing. Let me read that again. I was confused with it. The premise to all of this is, it's funny because it's me. I'm not really like that, so me doing it's actually a critique of it. And you reacting to it is me being the funny part because you wouldn't react to me that way otherwise.
Yeah, I understand that now.
The problem, of course, is that eventually you're not you anymore. You're that prick who thinks he's a rock star, who acquires a drug habit as a bit, yells at an intern about a fucking deli tray, a cigar-smoking music business guy. Lots of these adopted personae come home to roost in other, uglier ways. Bands that played with fascist imagery and language because it was shocking now have to grapple with a literal fascist element in society, taking inspiration from their choice. Ricky Gervais got comfortable inducing groans, learned to do it like a trick, got famous and wealthy from it. Eventually he saw the groans as the point, and In enlightened circles, the way to induce groans is to disdain enlightenment and be a bigoted piece of shit. So this time it's not funny because it's you. It's fucking awful because you are saying the same things people hear when they're being abused, when their humanity is being denied, when they're targeted. The things that they hear right before they're murdered.
All right. Well, there's some parts of that I agree with. What I don't agree with is the fact that, okay, so this author is saying that he or she or they are a fan. They were a fan of Ricky Gervais and are now no longer a fan of their work, of his work. So that's totally fine. This idea though that you haven't watched the thing that you're criticizing is bullshit. I guess in this though, the author is saying it's more about why they fell out of love with Ricky Gervais, I guess.
Yeah.
That like the comedian.
This isn't a specific comment on the jokes that he gives. It's more about the adoption of a persona or a personality which has drifted away from seeming self-awareness about the unlikability of saying those kind of things into a deliberate attempt to say those unlikable things for the reaction that it gets.
Yes. So I agree with that. And I definitely, I'm personally like guilty of doing that myself, as you know, especially in my younger adult life. But it seems like he's really trying to paint Ricky Gervais as a bigot, which I just don't think is true. Like, just because you
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that he's intending to.
Well, that last paragraph that you read, he's saying he's using the word bigot, but he's not necessarily referring to Ricky Gervais, but he's talking about Ricky Gervais in the entire article. So it's a connection that is making.
Sure.
And I just think I agree with, like I said, I agree with some of this, but my hesitation to agree with all of it is that just because you joke about something doesn't make you a bigot. And if you start labeling everyone a bigot who starts joking about things like sensitive issues like this, then that word's gonna lose its value.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we can talk specifically about the Ricky Gervais special until you've seen it to know.
Have you seen it?
No, I saw the transcription of the comments in question.
Yeah, okay. And that's the other thing. Like, comedy can't be read. Comedy is not a text that you read. It's if it's stand-up comedy, you need to listen to it. I mean, there's so much nuance in there that you're missing out. We learned that with, well, maybe not all of us, but with Louis C.K. stuff about joking about the high school massacre or whatever, and more recently with the Chappelle special, when people were calling this transphobic and stuff, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it, and then maybe it's the lens through which I'm watching it, but the special, when you watch it in full and you watch it with the whole context that it was meant to be listened to, you realize that this is not transphobic at all. And actually, part of the point of that special, in Chappelle's special, was his love of a friend who was trans. So I just really disagree with taking transcription of comedy, taking out of the context that it was meant to be listened in and consumed, and then digesting it separately from that, and then criticizing it. It's just wrong. Yeah,
that's fair. But in order to have transcribed it, the person has to have watched it. So,
yes, but the reader hasn't necessarily.
Sure. But is it, like we read movie reviews, right? Like there is that is criticism at a basic form, right? That people watch a thing, write up a thing, and tell you how they feel about it.
I mean, it seems like it's different. It's being criticized in a different way. Stand-up comedy these days. The criticism of stand-up comedy these days is that people don't. The critics will say that they don't like what the comedian's joking about. With movies, you're criticizing the way the movie's made, or how it made you feel, or whatever, or how good it was. It seems like a separate metric.
I mean, I know they're different media, but I would say that you could have concerns about what a movie is trying to say, or the content of a movie, in the same way that you could have concerns about the topic of a stand-up comedy special. If you have something like, I don't know what a good, if Green Book, say, you could have concerns about the subject matter of that film and the way that they're trying to make a point, and to what degree it's effective, and to what audience they're speaking to, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's not merely the aesthetic of it or the directorial stuff. There's often thematic or subject matter that's being discussed, in the same way you might talk about the subject matter or themes of a show, a stand-up show.
You're totally right. I'm just saying that seems to be the trend. When a comedy special bombs, it tends, whatever. If it bombs because it's shit, then it just washes away. But if it addresses like some sensitive issues, then it will become a news story more than I think a movie would, if it was doing the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm trying to think of examples of movies that might have got that kind of heat. I mean, if you look at something like, do you remember, was it called Aloha, where Emma Stone was cast
Bradley
as
Cooper,
a native Hawaiian woman?
Yeah, she should have won an Oscar for that. It was amazing.
Are you being serious?
No.
Okay.
It's a terrible movie.
Well, I remember that being a subject of discussion, because that was a sort of one of those racial casting controversies. And that seemed to get quite a stir and quite a lot of discussion and criticism.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it's got something to do with Netflix, and people are seeking out comedy specials more, or maybe they're just there, so they're consuming more comedy specials these days. I have nothing to back this up with whatsoever, but maybe.
Or it is just the cultural context at the moment, what people are talking about and keeping an eye out for and attuned to.
Yeah, I'll watch the Gervais special. I'm not sure. To me, the most, and this is me as a cis. Am I cis?
Yeah.
Yep. As a cis white male, my biggest problem with him is him talking about his fucking work like it's the fucking, he's writing, he's reinventing the wheel. I cannot listen to that guy talk about his work. Have you heard interviews? I'm guessing not. When he's talking about like Afterlife.
Yeah, I mean, whenever he gets on
you'll watch
a chat show, I'll like watch him with Colbert or.
He just gets this like serious look over his face, and he's like, "Now this is the most important thing in the world," and then he's joking about everything else. Like he's really soured. He hasn't aged well. I'm not sure his comedy has aged well. I haven't seen a special of his in since the last one, which was, what was that one? Who cares?
Humanity? I don't know. A while ago.
Humanity. He thinks he's really coming into his stride now. If you listen to him, I don't know. I'll watch it. Were you going to watch it?
I'll consider it. Out of intellectual curiosity. I'm more likely to watch his special than I would be to watch like a Louis C.K. one.
Sure.
I might need.
But
to.
I mean, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I guess we've hashed this over so many times, but yeah, I'm not. Is it the I don't know if it's an endorsement just to watch it. Like, if you're intellectually curious about it, it's not really an endorsement. Like, your click isn't.
I mean, in this context, because I already have a Netflix subscription, and he's already been paid. Whether or not it has a view doesn't really give him anything. Versus if I was to watch the Louis C.K. special, I would be literally like giving him money to get that video file. Yeah. It's a different sort of feeling.
You've always been quite. You've always really stuck by your morals, Nick. I'll give you that. I remember when Pastor Gogo posted that Instagram photo of like some girl with big cans in a tank top or something. He was like,
Big cans.
I don't know, dude. I've been listening to
How
blog all
old are
day.
you?
And then you just gave up pasta go-go, which, I respected, and then I just continued eating there. I was like, yeah, that's really good of you, Nick. Good on you.
Yeah,
I'll have the fettuccine Alfredo.
I'm a hero.
But no, I do respect it.
Okay, thank you.
Even if it, it's a little bit too much.
A bit OTT.
Bit OTT.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to top up my glass.
Okay, sure.
I'm doing dry June.
Dry June?
So last week...
Well, you're not really doing it yet, are you? Because it doesn't exist.
I will be doing dry June.
Sure, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Well, I mean, it's just a little bit hard to take seriously when you're like, I'm doing dry June as you pour a large glass of wine.
Gotta get it in now. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about it.
I mean, if you're that excited, you could start early.
Nah, I mean, I've got a birthday dinner coming up.
Yeah. Well,
I've just got a clean slate. Birthday dinner. We're going to an Afghani place.
Oh, you're gonna wear a special top?
Yeah, I'm gonna cancel myself on my birthday night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to saving some cashola because once you're doing dry month or whatever, you're not obligated to go anywhere. Like if someone says, "Hey, you want to catch up for your drink?" You go, "No, I can't. Dry June."
But
so
no, that's not true. You just go and get a Coke. Like,
I'm not a psycho. I'm not going to sit there and drink a Coke
just go
Zero.
to a bar and ask for a glass of full cream milk.
No, I mean, look, you can't. I mean, I don't know. I've never done it. I've never gone to a bar and I guess I have, and not drank.
Surely.
I mean, what do you do?
You just have another. There are plenty of drinks. Like, most of your work days when you're having a drink and it's not alcohol, like you just have one of those drinks.
Okay, and then you just talk.
You just talk
as
the same
normal
way that you would previously.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
All right, never really considered it, but yeah, keen to give that a go.
Anyway, if anyone out there is reaching out to Michael in June and he says, "Oh, I can't," it just means that he doesn't know what kind of drink to order.
Yeah, I'm just saving myself the embarrassment. I'll have I'm leaving.
Do you do Pepsi? Fuck.
A homeless man came up to me the other day. I'm telling a lot of homeless man and woman stories these days, but it's just because I've moved and there's a lot around.
Sure.
So when I say homeless person, this is not to shame. Okay?
I feel like that asterisk is more of an indictment than just like telling the story.
Well, I can't win. I try and be a good guy.
Uh-huh.
But this guy came up to me and I had my headphones in and he said, I took him out and he said, "Hey, can you spare $1?" And I said what I always say, which is, "I'm really sorry, but I genuinely don't have any change or any money on me." And he said, "Can you buy me a drink then?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Buy me a beer." And I said, "What? Where?" He said, "At the pub." And I said, "I have a movie to go to." And I laughed, but I was, these guys, they've got the ways around everything. Like, they cast a wide net. So I get it. They're just playing a numbers game.
You'd have to.
But what I don't like about it though is that when you say no, when they realize they're not going to get anything out of you, instead of going, "No worries, thanks for at least thinking about it for a second," they're just like, "Oh, I'm done with you."
Wait, you want politeness from them? You didn't give them anything.
I want.
Why you earned a? Oh, thank you so much. I'm so sorry to inconvenience.
I want to be schmoozed a little. I want to be wined and dined.
What schmoozed? You've already said no. There's nothing to schmooze out of you.
I would say thank you.
You'd say thank you. You didn't give him anything.
I wouldn't just turn my back and
you let him on.
walk away.
ridiculous.
I'm a polite man. Even if I, found myself in that situation, I would have a little bit of manners. My
I
mum
don't-
brought me up that way.
I don't. Well, maybe. Would you go straight to buy me a beer? Or would you say, oh, can you come to the shops? Or, can you get me some food? Because buy me, let's go to the pub and you get me around that's the leap there.
Yeah.
Where if it was oh, can I just grab a muesli bar from the 7-Eleven? It'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll buy a muesli bar. But
Yeah.
let's go into a pub. That's a stronger pitch, right? Or a bolder pitch, I should say.
Yeah, it was a bit extreme. Although the pub was pretty close, and then I think I did consider it for a second. I was like, maybe I should get a beer. But what I think I would do is just park myself outside of restaurants or takeaway places that I'll be like, what do I want for lunch? Maybe I want Subway, and then I just sit out there, and then maybe ask for money, and then if people said no, but I'm assuming people say, no, I don't have any change, but do you want me to get you from something inside? And then I'd go, get me a chicken teriyaki.
Yeah, I'd
on wholemeal bread with
regular
a couple
peri
of cookies.
peri chips and a chicken supremo pita, please, hot.
And just have it ready to go.
Yeah.
So just say, do you have any money? No, but do you want something from inside?
Yeah,
can I get a peri
peri-peri
peri chips, a large Coke, and
Yeah, I mean, that sounds sensible.
yeah, and then you could just do that. And then you could just eat wherever you wanted, really.
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee you're going to actually get that food.
I think there's a good chance.
Depends where you are, I guess, which suburb.
Yeah. Yep. What's next on the menu?
Well, do you have anything else on your list?
What time do you usually go to bed?
12, 12:15, 12:30?
Do you?
Yeah.
Pretty late.
Yeah, well, KC goes to bed around that time, and I have this weird thing where if I'm going to bed first and he's up for another hour, I can never really just fall asleep because I'm just waiting for that moment where he's going to come in and then shuffle around and make noises and
I'm so with you.
So I'm just half lying there, half asleep. So
Totally.
it just kind of makes sense to go at the same time.
Yeah. No,
But
totally get
my
that.
natural bedtime's always been midnight for a while anyway.
Yep.
So, yeah.
No, with you on that one for sure.
How about we do some Rec Engine?
Lock her up. I don't know why I just said lock her up. I was going to say something like,
Get the keys?
Lock her up. It's three syllable sayings.
Welcome to Deep Thought's Recommendation Engine. Okay, I've got quite a few on my list. I don't know if you're feeling it. It feels like a lot of stuff's coming out at the moment. A lot of music,
Yeah.
a lot of movies, a lot of things. I'm enjoying it, but I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed by how much nice stuff there is to enjoy and consume.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know we were doing this segment, and then I just thought, oh, do I have any recs? And I've thought of 3 off the top of my head. So,
I have 7 on my list. So
Okay.
let's gonna rapid fire.
Yeah.
Starting, well, actually, I can cross one off the list. We've talked about it already. How to Be Perfect is a good book by Mike Scher. If you like moral philosophy, if you like The Good Place in Parks and Rec, it's a very light read. It's fun, it's digestible, but it gets the brain going. So I recommend.
It's one of my favorite books of the year.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Surely have.
It is a fucking fantastic movie.
Great film.
Michelle Yeoh, directed by the Daniels, a sort of sci-fi-ish, sort of romantic family drama about a woman who runs a laundromat and then starts to jump around the multiverse. It's easier to understand than it sounds. But it is wonderful. It is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
It's very fun. It's very thoughtful, actually. It's very funny, but it's very what I liked about it the most is how like existential it got.
Yeah.
The rocks talking to each other on the cliff. Spoiler alert. I always say spoiler alert after I've spoiled it. Never quite got the hang of that.
Yeah.
But that's just like a classic scene, which
It's
is
incredible.
funny.
Yeah.
I love those scenes where they start out funny, and that's the tone, and then they kind of ease into this kind of malaise and this really nice existentialism, which is they're my favorite films. But yeah, great film.
It's incredibly well made. It's also incredibly like impressive visually for a film that was quite low budget, like really quite low budget. And the VFX team was 7 people. 7 people. 7
Wow.
people did that entire film. Like, it is
We've got 7 people
crazy.
working on our graphics.
Yeah, it is crazy. And it's like a real testament to the democratization of like technology and visual effects software and like what you can do with in your room with a decent PC these days. Like it's insane.
Yes,
Michelle
very
Yeoh's incredible. Stephanie Chu is incredible, and Ki Kwan, I think is his surname, is also really strong as a husband. I just loved all of it. And
Originally offered to Jackie Chan, who turned it down.
is that right?
Her husband.
Oh yeah. The specificity of it as well, as an immigrant story, as a queer story, as a aspirational story, was like a targeted missile to KC. This movie really fucking destroyed him. It was
Tears.
yeah. If you're an Asian or
I bet. Yeah.
immigrant descent, it is like a degree of specificity further, and
Wow.
and an exponential like emotional impact as well. Like
You saw it with him, I imagine.
yeah.
Oh wow, that would have
And
been
like I was choked up along the way already, and then like half the conversations all the way through are like Mandarin, and they're swapping back and forth with the ease of bilingual or trilingual people. I don't know. I think there's so much resonant there for him that it really hit.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I guess that would have really driven things home for him.
No,
Cool.
it's very, very good film. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. It's A24's most
Yes.
successful film they've ever released.
Ah.
Definitely the biggest domestic gross in the US. Maybe, I don't know about the international numbers, but definitely the biggest film they ever released in the US, which is a huge achievement.
Yeah, it's still going strong at my local cinema.
Yeah,
So
a lot of good word of mouth.
yeah.
Cool. Would you like to throw one in?
Just on the films
Yeah.
thing, I saw the new Nicolas Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is genuinely laugh out loud funny from start to finish. Not sure what I was expecting from it. I watched half of the trailer and decided this is probably not a film I want to watch the trailer of if I do want to see it. So glad I didn't. Because I can just tell that it was going to be marketed in some sort of, way that wasn't doing justice to the film. Even the poster was just dog shit. But this is just such a funny film. It's Nicolas Cage playing himself. The film touches on, some Nicolas Cage information that's out there in the public, or the perception of Nicolas Cage that's out there, which is just really fun when you see like the actor making fun of themselves in a really honest way, and it's hilarious for that reason. But the guy who wrote it, I can't remember his name. He's clearly just a massive Nicolas Cage fan, and it's like it's an homage to him, and it's also making fun of him at the same time. So it's I highly recommend just going and watch
Full
that.
marks to him for like jumping on board with it. Like,
yeah, and especially, I mean, he dresses all the I think there's a line in there that's like, oh, you'll do any movie, all that kind of stuff. All these things that people were making fun of Nicolas Cage about even a year ago, but now he's had this like Cageissance in the last year or so, where he's seemingly, coming back. I always thought he was a great actor. I think I've got that on record in various mediums.
Yeah.
But he seems like he's he's on this. I reckon he's going to win an Oscar.
On this one?
No, not
Or
in
just
this one.
generally?
But I think this is the trend. Like,
Yeah.
apparently he's paid off all of his debts that were kind of keeping him in these kind of shitty movies. Still giving it his all, but in his like Nick Cage way. But I think because the movies themselves were shitty, it kind of looks shitty. But I think, if he just gets the right part, he'll win an Oscar. He's just an incredible actor. Like, he just does his,
because Lords of War
Lord of War was good.
like that was like a close call. Like, that got some critical heat.
Matchstick Men was great. Leaving Las Vegas, which he did win an Oscar for. Raising Arizona. He's done some great.
Wait, has he already
movies.
won an Oscar?
Yeah, leaving.
So why
Las
are you
Vegas.
saying you think he's going to win an Oscar? You just mean like he's got another one in the tank?
I think just people wrote him off. People don't understand that he was a truly great actor, and he did some truly timeless films back in the day, and they just think he's just done like fucking.
He's disappeared again. Yeah.
Whatever bullshit. But yeah, he's great. A podcast was talking about this the other day. But like, what actor now do you reckon would be just like great? Would be a great person to win an Oscar that's kind of flying under the radar at the moment. I think someone said John Travolta, which isn't great. But like, is there any actors that
You mean like
haven't
previously
really,
established, like famous actors, or you mean like up and comers?
like previously established, like guys that have just flown under the radar for most of their careers? Like, I don't know, like Brian Cox. Like, he would be cool.
Yeah, but he's gonna win like Emmys for Succession.
Yeah, but
and
Emmys.
stuff. Yeah.
But an Oscar is an Oscar. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't feel like he's flying under the radar because he's currently the patriarch on a massive TV show. Like,
but do you reckon you can win an Emmy and then just straight up win an Oscar? Like,
well, an EGOT involves both of them, right? Like, people have to have done it.
yeah, but I feel like when that happens, people go from film to television. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass here.
Yeah, I don't know my answer to that. Colin Farrell,
Anyway.
maybe?
Colin Farrell, yeah, that's a good
Because
one.
he's sort of been...
He's a leading man.
He's a leading man, but he's disappeared a little bit of late and been plugging away in some, like, smaller stuff for a while.
Yeah, well, actually, I saw After Yang, which is maybe one that you guys want to see as well, if you haven't already seen it.
No, I haven't heard of it.
You haven't heard of it?
No.
I think you'll really like this one. It's a sci-fi movie, but it's like not a sci-fi. It's kind of set in the near future, where a family, I don't know what the word is. They buy essentially a son that looks incredibly realistic, but he's essentially AI.
Right.
And then he starts malfunctioning. So it's just kind of following that process of getting it back. It's kind of a story that's been done before, like when do we become human? You know, that kind of thing. But it is done in a pretty cool way. It's A24 as well.
Yeah.
So
cool.
yeah, I
I'll
reckon
keep an eye.
go check that one out.
Have you got any other films on the list? Because I might jump into TV.
Yeah, do TV. No, I can't think of anything.
Okay, I've got a few to touch on. We talked about Severance previously with Adam Scott. Just need to reiterate that's a really great show. I want to throw The After Party in the mix. So The After Party is on Apple TV Plus. It is an 8-part comedy mystery series. It's got just like a murderer's row of hilarious comedians. Ben Schwartz, it's got Alana Glazer, Sam Richardson, Dave, what's his face, Franco. Just, a whole bunch of really great comedic people who attend a high school reunion and then go to an after party and one of them turns up dead. And the premise of the show is a police investigation into what happened, and they're questioning all of these people who were there. And they each episode is focused on the perspective of one person, and each of these characters' stories are told in a different genre. So one of them, you retell the events that we've seen at the high school reunion, and it's a thriller. One, it's a musical. One, it's like animated. One, it's like an action movie. And through all of these characters' different lenses, you get a different genre each week. It's really clever. It's really entertaining. It's got like a decent mystery underneath it all. Tiffany Haddish plays the cop, and she's very good fun. So it's like a fun sort of breezy hang, 8 episodes, half hours. It's all very, very good.
Sounds good. What's the tone of it? Is it light?
Yeah. Yeah, it's light. It's not like there's bits that you can definitely tell are sort of improv riffs that they kept in. So it's not like, it's not super heavy and not super serious, but there is like a narrative behind it all, like a good mystery. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I really fucking hate Dave Franco, tell you what.
But he plays a deliberately unlikable person in here, so you not liking him might actually be fine because he's not very likable.
Is James ever coming back?
I don't know. What's he been up to? He took a while away to atone for his filmmaking sins.
Filmmaking sins? Well,
do you remember the controversy about how they filmed sex scenes and he got women to do weird shit when he was making that film?
Yeah, I don't think his sins were filmmaking.
Sure. I mean, my interpretation of that was that it was a making, like, asking too much of like background actors and that kind of thing in a shot in a way that's, you know, should have been handled by a producer differently or that sort of thing, rather than a particular.
Yeah, I think there's been other allegations since then as well.
Oh, really?
Like, that he's like was texting in a flirtatious manner with underage girls.
Oh,
it just seems like it's been away for a long time. Like The Disaster Artist was the last thing I think he's properly been in.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening, James,
get your shit together.
Or email us in. Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, or send us.
We'll be the vessel for your comeback.
Send us a full email. Yeah.
and pass on any wrecks and myths that you might have if you do.
Yeah, please. Alrighty, one more TV I'll throw out there in brief, which is Better Call Saul. If you ever watched Breaking Bad, you'll remember Saul Goodman, the lawyer. If you're not watching Better Call Saul, then you're missing out. And if you're a fan of Breaking Bad, then I highly recommend you catch up on this show because it is doing some incredible things and I think arguably has hit the level of Breaking Bad in terms of quality, if not exceeded it. So you will never watch it. It's too serialized, Michael. But for anyone out there who was on the fence, it is absolutely worth your time.
Cool.
You got something else?
I'm guessing this is on your list, but I was going to recommend the Smile record.
I was going to have a chat
amazing. About it. Man, what an album. What an album.
A Light for Attracting Attention by The Smile, comprised of Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, and Tom Skinner.
Tom Skinner.
And mixed by Nigel Godrich.
It's just a fantastic record. You don't think it's very Radioheady? I just hear Radiohead all through it.
Why did you say that? No, that was going to be my topic of conversation.
Okay. Elaborate.
I feel like it is very close to Radiohead. I feel like if you squint, it is really, you could see a way that this was the next album they came out with.
Yes. Even
to the point where some of these songs they've played previously live as sort of demos as Radiohead across the past decade. Now Tom and Johnny have picked them up and taken them away and said, no, these are ours now. But even instrumentation-wise, even orchestration-wise, like you can draw parallels between a lot of the songs on this album and tonal equivalents or instrumentation equivalents in A Moon-Shaped Pool. Yeah. Like it's almost a little bit Uncanny Valley where it feels so close to Radiohead that it kind of should be to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think you can, if you're a true Radiohead fan, you can notice the difference as you were kind of alluding to. I think it's in the drums.
Absolutely.
Or they've obviously changed the drummer. So I think that's different. That's a separation point. I think they've used a lot of horns on this record, which I mean, look, all of this I love, but it is the synths and obviously lyrically, vocally, and guitars from Johnny are very. They are Radiohead. They can't help themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. You're not complaining.
I think you're right that the biggest differentiator is the sort of jazz drum underpinning and the very technical, like this one's in 7/8, this one's in 5/8. There's a lot more like time signature fuck aroundery, and there's like songs in 11 and this kind of thing, which Radiohead just don't really tend to go towards.
Oh, they have done it though.
They have, but like not an album back to back where it's like this one's 5/8, this one's 7/8, this one's 11.
Yeah.
You might get one in the middle, but most of the time they're not so crazy and not so technical.
Yes,
but
also the album cover is not a Radiohead album cover.
No, I quite like that though.
No, so do I.
The thing that I miss in this album a little bit, like I do really quite like it, but I feel it's quite cold. It's quite a cold album to me.
Interesting.
And I just miss a little bit of that warmth. I miss vocal harmonies. I miss like a nice
harmonies.
lead guitar, like Ed kind of backing.
Yes, more of a
to it.
chordal guitar rather
Yeah.
than a kind of a harsher kind of.
Well, it's a
punky
lead
Johnny
guitar thing. It's a very melodic purpose. It's not there for atmosphere. It's there to play a tune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
Johnny would do that in the Radiohead records. He would provide that texture, that kind of harsher texture.
Yeah.
Whereas Ed would often be on the on the 5 string or the 6 string, kind of providing that nice chordal backing.
Yeah.
Or texture to the song. So I agree that it is a little bit cold. I think lyrically it's actually quite warm though. He's I can't remember
he's
some of the
mellowed
lyrics
a
off
bit.
the top of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has definitely mellowed. I had to look up some of the lyrics because I couldn't hear what he was saying. And he does a really cool thing in, I think it's The Smoke, where he starts the lyric, so it's in a 4/4 beat, I think. He starts it, but the lyrics are in threes. So he kind of in 3-syllable phrases, if you know what I mean. So
Sure.
he'll say the 3-syllable phrase, but then the first syllable of the next phrase will start on the
same
4th beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just kind of loops, which is always like rhythmically something I loved hearing, and that's something that they've done before, and also Brokers have done. But I'm not saying they stole it from us, but whatever. But it just I haven't actually heard it done with lyrics, and I just love that. And he's talking, I don't know, he's talking about some really kind of I don't know. He's become really romantic, I think, in some ways in his old age. He's definitely mellowed out. He's I'm not sure if he's sadder. I think he's happier, but he's more sure of himself, and he's speaking from a place of I don't know, it sounds like trite, but he's speaking from the heart. He's speaking about his personal
his
things.
angst has externalized, where it used to be an internal, like, I feel shit, what are we doing, what is this, who am I, kind of thing. And now I think his targets of that are the government is a bunch of idiots, and like particularly in a UK context, like the system's kind of broken, and like these big picture issues are there, but we the people, like you and I, we can fix it. All we need to do is get in the streets. Like that kind of mentality has shifted almost like a democratic participation chant,
Yes,
and
it's almost like
and
he's decalcified himself.
yeah, but his emotional stuff, as you say, is more romantic. He's got more willing to be sort of loving and explicit in that sort of tone.
I just love it, and I know we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that maybe Radiohead are on their last album,
Yeah.
possibly, and it kind of seems like it's trending that way. But he's still clearly got so much in the tank.
Yeah.
They all do. So yeah, I just like if there's more of this shit. Like if there's no more Radiohead albums, but we get 3 more Smile records, I would take that as a gamble.
You would bet it? What do you mean
I
you'd
would
take
bet
that?
it.
Or you'd take...
So if
You would bet
Okay,
that that's more likely.
well, I'll put it to you. Okay, so we get 3 more Smile records.
Yeah.
And no new Radiohead records, or we get one new Radiohead album.
You want me to guess which one is more likely?
No, what one would you prefer?
I
now
prefer
that I
one
think
more
about it-
Radiohead.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Just to like cap it off.
We need some closure. You're right.
Yeah. Which is not to say that I wouldn't also take more Smile. I'd also really quite like another Atoms for Peace, to be honest. I thought that was a nice group.
Well, that's the funny thing about his side projects. Like he's done Atoms for Peace, made a great record there, and then just disbanded. So potentially that could be the same thing with this project that he's working on, the Smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just all right. 4.5 out of 5 for me.
What would you pick as your favorite track on it?
Yeah, great question.
I'm pulling it up now for my own.
Yeah,
reference.
I'm pulling mine up. He and Johnny were great on fucking Smartless the other day as well.
I found it a little bit like I liked him, but I also found myself cringing because I knew that's exactly how I would behave if I was ever interviewing them. And Jason
Totally.
Bateman is a 1000% fan, like legit.
Yeah.
And he was asking the questions that I know that I would ask, and everyone else was giving him shit for it.
Yes. Yeah, that's totally true. Like he wasn't the one who brought them there.
He was the one who requested it, and then it was like I haven't listened to much Smartless, but I think he was his guest that week. I think they alternate guests.
Right. Okay. What's my fave? All right, my most listened to is definitely The Smoke, but I think it's just been out the longest, maybe. All right. I'll give you top 2. I love Free in the Knowledge,
That's
which
very good.
I think is ex Radiohead or formerly Radiohead.
I don't know if he ever played it as Radiohead, but he has demoed it live before as a solo
and
song.
I love Speech Bubbles.
Speech Bubbles is good.
And what is this? I think it's the opposite where he does this crazy vocal thing. Oh yeah. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. What's that one? The opposite.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is killer.
For me, I really dig The Same, actually. I think the opening track's very strong. Free in the Knowledge is good. Open the Floodgates has been hanging around for like 12, 14 years, and it always feels slightly underwhelming whenever you hear the album version, but quite okay with it. Actually kind of into their hairdryer quite a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. What don't you like? What do you avoid?
I haven't got to a point where I skip them.
Panavision
There
is
are just
great.
some which I kind of like haven't registered.
Yeah. I don't know them well enough. I mean, I've been just thrashing it every day. But
I think
don't
Waving
know
a
them.
White Flag I don't really register that much. I don't.
Yeah, I can't recall it. But yeah.
Yeah, anyway, definitely exciting to have some new Radiohead-esque music out.
Hopefully we never get another Ed O'Brien record ever again.
Look, I mean, it doesn't
You
really.
agree?
I didn't love it at all, but he can do his thing. Why not? If we have if we have 2 Phil records, we can have 2 Ed records.
Would you rather?
I just want to know what Colin's up to. What's Colin doing? What's he doing?
Colin doesn't give a fuck.
Is he just
Colin
chilling at home?
He just drinks tea. 100%. He just drinks tea. He's very happy not doing anything.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of music, Patrick Watson has a new album out. Have you been listening to this?
I think I listened to a couple of singles.
Oh, you
of
haven't
it.
listened to the album. It's only 20 minutes. It's
No.
quite short, and that's my number one criticism.
Oh, maybe I have and thought it was an EP.
It's his new album. It's like 24 minutes. It's called Better in the Shade. It is 7 songs,
Oh, no, I have listened to this. I
and
thought
it
it was
is
an EP.
22 minutes. I don't know. That's sort of right in the middle of, like, it's short songs, but there's 7 of them. So I don't know whether you call that an EP or an LP, but it's real beautiful. It's like he's a real master of like emotive orchestral kind of anthem shit, and this is just him giving me more of what I like, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that I'll leave for 2 years or so, and then I'll come back to in a really big way and just listen to him, for months on end.
Yeah.
He's always good. I love him.
Love Songs
And
for
he's-
Robots was such a great album, and then
Yeah.
to follow it up off the back of that with Wave was
very beautiful. But yeah, he's really evolved really nicely as well. He's really changed his sound a lot, but maintaining
this
his
one's got
essence. He's
some
gone
kind of
more
like
electronic.
electric.
Yeah. So he's really, I love those artists that are really evolving
Yeah.
quite a lot and not just sticking to
Can I be honest? That's my one issue with the Smile album, is I feel like there are no sounds there that I haven't heard them do before. Every sort of guitar sound,
record.
but that's what I mean. Like when I listen to Suspiria, I'm hearing different sounds than a normal thing. When I'm listening to like Anima, I'm hearing different things to what I normally do. When I listen to this album, I'm like, I've heard that guitar before, I've heard that synth before, I've heard that strings before, I've heard that. Like, there wasn't that much in that album where I felt like, oh, a fresh thing.
But if they were a new band and you didn't know any of them in there, you might think that, oh, this is cool.
I still think it's cool. I just it doesn't quite get as high for me if it feels familiar, is I guess what I'm saying.
Sure.
When we're talking about artists evolving their sounds, there's not a huge amount there where I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's interesting. Look, they've gone somewhere new.
Yeah, but I swear this was originally pitched as like a post-punk album, which it's very much not.
I don't know. That might have been
Just the media.
The media description of what was happening.
Because I think the first song they released maybe was "You Will Never Work in Television Again," which is quite rough.
It wasn't like that. It was that concert that I sent to you. They did a Glastonbury set, or no, not Glastonbury. Somewhere they did a set. They played for 40 minutes and they debuted like 9 songs just straight away. Right. So they got the full picture immediately. Anyway, one more on the list. Mode Rat. Have you listened to the Mode Rat album? More Data.
Another one I've been thrashing. Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking great.
You say Mode Rat?
What's Mode Selector and Apparat? So Mode Rat.
I've been saying Moderat.
Well, I don't know what the answer is. It's Mode Selector is like it's a team up of those 2 bands. So
I guess so. Mode Rat. I like that way less than what I am imagining in my head. But yeah,
well, you
great.
could say Moderata.
Moderato. Yeah, no, it's really good, isn't it? They make great music as well.
Yeah, that they have a certain kind of tonality which really like just gets the spine tingles going. Like they have really like interesting chord progressions. They really like the sort of type of synths they use and the way they interweave vocals over it and everything. It's very like feely music rather than thinky music.
Yes, it's very Berlin as well.
It's very Berlin.
But I love their chords, probably the most. The one thing I don't love about Moderato is probably that vocalist that they always use, which I don't actually mind that much, but sometimes his voice gets a bit like try too hard. Do you know what I mean?
I don't have that issue, but I can
see
see how it could grate.
Rusty nails, but anyway, that's my small gripe with them. But apart from that, yes, I've been listening to it at the gymnasium. Great record. Great record.
Yeah, so that's my very long rec engine. I had a lot of stuff that had burning in the pocket here.
Yeah, you might need to fuel up because that engine is out of gas. Engines don't get out of gas, do they? I know nothing about cars.
They did. You were right, and now you okay, doesn't matter. If you've enjoyed this, thank you so much for sending us that feedback. That's really great. And you can engage with us in many ways that benefit our social metrics and get our brand out there for the betterment of society. You can find us at Facebook at Deep Forward and Twitter at Deep Forward and Instagram at Deep Forward, and you can send questions to deepforward@gmail.com. Find our songs on Spotify and SoundCloud. And just generally try and read a little bit more, because haven't you been letting that book sit there just a bit too long? Isn't it time you just got on with it?
Yeah, good. Alienate our small listener base, Nick. Good on you.
Okay, I got a story.
Oh, I love it. I honestly love it when you've got a story, because it means I can recline and just listen to your sweet, sweet voice.
This is a bit of a risky story. This is a story with some potential fallout. So I'm going to tell you this, and we're just going to cross our fingers and hope.
Okay.
So if you register for Twitter or for social media, you have to enter in some information, some contact details. You put your email address in. You might put your phone number in. And these social media networks, to help you build up a follower base or connect you with people you might already know, then take that information and use that to match against other people's contacts. And so if you've put in your phone number and someone else with your phone number in their phone has uploaded their contacts, they'll then say, hey, this person is now signed up. Do you want to follow them? Do you want to interact? This happened to me the other week on Twitter. I got a notification
Very
that
nice.
Someone in my contacts had started a new Twitter account.
Yeah.
Here is the problem. When I looked at it, it was a penis. And the Twitter account name was something like Thick Dick.
Yeah.
And someone had set up a Twitter account with pornographic intent and nude photos of themselves.
Wow.
With the intent to find hookups and trade pics and do who knows what else. And on Twitter, throwaway account, but made a technical error and used their actual phone number, and then it was disseminated to everyone who had their phone number, and that includes me. Here's the next kicker. I have no fucking idea who this person is.
Oh.
So someone in my phone I have seen naked because they have gone out and made a pornographic Twitter account.
Wow. That's incredible.
And really, really put themselves out there.
Now, you could just go through your contact list.
I have tried to work out who it could be. There was a location. I'm not going to disclose the location.
What was the location, though?
It was... I'm deleting that bit. But I'm trying to work out who I know in this place. Not because I want to know, but I can't help but think about who it might be.
You have to know.
But it's so awkward.
But Nick, what if you meticulously go through your contact list, and yes, it's probably going to take you about an hour, but if you go through it, you just get the last 3 digits, and then you
no. But I the user do not get to see their phone number.
Oh, you don't see.
So it's silently pairing that for my reference, but I can't do a match, right? And this person's not used their name; they've just put a photo up, a revealing photo. and several revealing photos and a location, and it's just someone. It's just someone.
Okay, is it penis or pussy?
It's penis.
Is it nice? Does it look good?
I when I saw what it was, I did not investigate further. It was a very strange feeling of confusion and uncertainty and trying to work out why the hell there was porn in my Twitter, and then immediately after realizing, I went back to my notifications where this had been, surfaced, and it was no longer letting me in. So that then means this person had the worst fucking day of their life because they realized, fuck, I have linked my phone number, and someone else, presumably some other person who knows them, saw it go up, worked out who it was, got in touch and was like, I can see your dick. And they then blocked it, took it down, did whatever, because it now no longer exists.
Oh, so it doesn't exist at all.
So now it doesn't exist at all.
That's a real shame.
That's
a real shame. Wow. Now, loaded question here. Had you seen this dick before, maybe?
No, I don't think so.
You would know. You have good.
I've seen a lot of
recognition. Okay, so you haven't seen it before. Someone who lives in beep, and all right. Well, I guess there's no way of knowing, is there?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Do you remember that? You took a screenshot though, right?
Why would I take a screenshot?
Idiot.
Why? Idiot. For what purpose? What's the point?
To send to me so I can look this guy up.
How are you gonna look him up?
Oh, I can work it up. What you could
How?
do is you just throw it into the Google search bar and it'll do it, I guess.
Wait, you think this person has put their dick out there enough that Google can match dicks for you?
Maybe it's worth a shot.
Well, yeah, it was a very unexpected turn of events.
That's really funny though.
And there is a non-zero chance that this person is listening. Non-zero.
I love that for us. Okay. Well, what have you got to say to just say the person is listening, and they're mortified by this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Look, we've all had horny days. We've all made mistakes. It sounds like you probably had a bad day because within the space of an hour of you doing that, it was no longer around. So I have to assume there is a degree of horror, and if you're hearing this, it's only made it worse. But the good news is I haven't worked out how you are yet, and congratulations on the penis.
Oh, you said it didn't look good.
Yeah, nice, good.
Oh, okay. I thought you said because you didn't investigate further that.
Yeah.
Well, at least they've preserved their anonymity.
Yeah.
But if you don't,
it's going to be weird if it's a relative.
Send it through the deepthought@gmail.com, and Nick will put it in the chapter notes.
Okay.
And we can get any potential hookups for you down the track.
Yeah.
To email us, and maybe we could be like a little matchmaking service on the side.
Gone a different direction.
Podcast/matchmakers.
Yes. Oh god.
What I don't get is why are people putting up photos of their genitals on Twitter, which is used, I assume, just for journalists and politicians.
I think there's a lot of porn on Twitter as well.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is that not illegal?
Illegal.
But Twitter bans a lot of stuff, don't they? Why are they? You can post porn on Twitter.
I think so.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, I got to start following some different accounts.